Hey, this is CJ, and I want to tell you about our new show, Minding Your Business After Hours. After Hours is your behind the scenes look into how we grow our ventures. We brainstorm, screen share, and work through the steps we're taking each week. Jump in the bullpen with us and learn new skills while getting stuff done. You can access After Hours by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/minding your business. This week on the Minding Your Business podcast, we talk about return on investment. Don't view marketing as an expense. And we look at Looky's landing page. Welcome to the Minding Your Business podcast. I'm CJ Jolliffe with everybody's favorite co-host,
Aaron Jarrells. All right. Today's another day.
You are bringing the energy today, brother. Ooh, yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, this morning I did start with 2 cappuccinos at the house. Made 2 of them. I'm back to using up my half calf again because I just did not care for those tiny beans, the Ethiopian. It's really funny.
So for the record, Aaron does not like Ethiopia.
I do not. Coffee. It's interesting. You sent over the bag and you had said,
I tried it. It was a new. I'm
trying something different. And I'm
farm.
Like, So I take the bag and I smell it and I'm like, he roasted it with Sour Patch Kids. Okay. So then I open it up and I pour and I smell and I'm like, man, no, just no. So I'm asking my wife, what do you think? What does this smell like? She's like, smells definitely fruity. Did he put I said, I think he stored it. They store stuff in wine casks. I was like, I think he stored it in a Fruity Pebbles box.
Oh my gosh.
But I'll tell you, definitely fruity. And it's interesting because I always thought I really liked the extra fruitiness.
Yeah. You might like citrus like the citrus notes. But yeah, Ethiopia it's very floral and has kind of like a melon.
Oh my God, thing. That's it. Because Jess was like, I feel like maybe it's been soaked in rose water or something. And I go,
yeah,
I don't know, but I don't care for maybe. So anyway, it's really kind of, I feel kind of shisty, but I put just enough of those beans in the grinder to make hers in the morning.
Nice.
And then because realistically, she's putting oat milk in it with a little bit of brown sugar and cinnamon. That'd hide Folgers, right?
That's right.
Because so I'm making, she's like, this is not, it's a little different. And so she hasn't noticed yet.
Nice. I did the same thing. I ran out of my in-laws. Were here. They're visiting and they're staying in an Airbnb and they were like, you need to go to the store, get coffee. I was like, no. Take, we have an extra bag.
Right.
Well, we didn't actually have an extra bag. Last 4 days, we've been dipping into we've only had the half calf. And so I feel the pain. I have been drinking twice as much coffee to get that, boost.
Yes.
And so today, well, your next shipment came, should be there probably Monday. It's Kenya. And since you didn't like the Ethiopia, threw in a bag of the blonde blend, which is Costa Rica, Guatemala, and Honduras. So, and actually, I wish I had one. I know that I think you have the little disc, the little metal disc that goes in your espresso maker.
I do, but we have one, and
I threw in another one.
Oh, okay. Ooh, fantastic. So, okay, yeah, outstanding.
I have too many, so I have 4. I certainly don't need 4, but
okay, yeah, 2 would be good because then they can rotate. I like to wash it and I put the descaler and sometimes I'm doing that waiting to make the coffee and I'm like, come on. Like, so this is better. This would be good. Okay. So today, I feel like, man, okay. I'll tell you, I did drink 2 2 cappuccinos this morning because
Yes.
they're half calf. I gotta
Right. You
I gotta
gotta
drink
make
2,
up.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and then I started drinking. I didn't have enough caffeine, so I'm drinking I don't know, knockoff Red Bull,
Huh. Interesting.
Alani. Fruity, they're delicious, they're good. But I'm finding whatever it is, I know I should probably look and just not just consume it. But
Yeah. I said, don't look at the ingredients.
I can't read it. It's a tiny writing. Um, but whatever the stimulant, knockoff guarana or caffeine, whatever it is that they're using as their caffeine, hits me different.
Okay.
And it's putting me normally caffeine puts me in a state where I can really concentrate,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't take away like my ability to think. This
Right.
one is like appears to slow me down so much that I almost have trouble concentrating, but it doesn't stimulate the physical side of me because I'm sitting
Right.
here, my legs going "Tut, tut, 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 tut," under the desk.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the sugar, but typically, like if I don't drink enough coffee, I'm sitting here like shaking
Yeah.
because I need more caffeine to slow me down.
Right. Right.
But now this thing's slowing my brain down, but not my body. And I needed to slow my body down and slightly slow the brain down. But so
I
far
do
as
have a
YouTube,
recommendation for you.
yeah,
I don't want to like hijack your story, but like, we talked about creatine monohydrate.
I'm
Mm,
taking that.
right. Okay. So, because you're talking about different types of caffeine.
Yeah,
So, for the record, I do not work there anymore or anything like that. But EFX Sports has a creatine monohydrate that's more of like a pre-workout. It's still capsules, but it has, and actually, I think they used to, they may have this in their pre-workout product also. But anyway, it has a blend of black, white, and green teas. So the caffeine doesn't just hit you and then drop off.
right.
It has, it's basically time releasing it, right? So
Yes.
you have a slow, even energy level, and then it slowly dies off. It is awesome.
Okay.
It's called Crealkaline Hardcore. Crealkaline is their pH buffered or pH correct creatine. So, dude, that one excellent. I don't need any more caffeine in my life. But if I did, if I wasn't
Okay.
a coffee drinker, I would be all over that. And it's super, super cost effective too. So there's my
Okay.
pitch.
Okay.
EFXsports.com.
I'll have to think about that. I got to think about how to get coffee at the office. I know that sounds ridiculous, right? I should just use a coffee maker, but
I would just bring a pour over or a French press and a
yeah,
kettle. Grind your
I
beans
have a
before you,
kettle here. I have
yeah,
a
just grind
kettle
your beans in the
because
morning and take them with you.
okay, there it is. I could do that. I could get yeah.
I
I
mean, if
could
you want to
definitely
spend
do
money,
that.
I can help you spend money because I take my
No,
coffee kit
I've
off the
got
road.
a French press that I don't necessarily use at the why would I use that at the house when I have an espresso maker now?
Right, exactly.
But I can bring it to the office because I've got the sink in my office. I could absolutely do that. I just got to grind. I'm not buying another grinder. That thing was
Right.
a couple $100, but I could grind fresh beans, bring them with me, pop them in there,
Yeah.
and then yeah, I
For
could do
anyone
that
that
because then
wants
I could
a
make one
product
cup, two
like
cups, 3 cups, 4 cups.
exactly.
Like I don't have to make a full pot of it and then try and bang it down.
For anyone that wants a product idea and wants to do a Kickstarter, I will help. I will contribute. Make a all-in-one piece of hardware that grinds beans, brews coffee, just all it heats up the water all in one thing. It is possible. It doesn't have to be super small, but portable, would be great.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you could
I
take
will
it to the
contribute.
office and
Oh my
and do it.
gosh. Because my kit, it's like a small cooler, like those like I don't know, they're like $100 Yetis,
Yeah,
the little like lunch box.
yeah,
I have not a Yeti. I have a OGO, and it's like a little bigger than that. And literally, it's completely full whenever we go on the road and we travel. I take a kettle. I take a grinder that's battery powered. It's actually great. And then my French press, a couple bags of coffee, my scale. Like it's ridiculous. It really
yeah.
is. I have a problem, but if I could take
Yeah.
one thing, that's worth
Yeah.
some money to me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Man, I saw because I was looking, you find what you're looking for. I was looking for like a manual espresso machine
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They make that. It's more expensive
More
than
expensive.
buying the other one.
I blame
And I was
hipsters.
like, dude, this would be perfect. Set right on my counter. I do it, press it, and
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
nope. It's more expensive.
And these are the same people that are
Beautiful.
gonna manually grind their beans too, you know? You're like, "Oh,
Manually grind the beans, then do the thing. And I was like, dude, I could do that. I love the experience of it. It puts you in the, get
you
you
don't love
your
like, no, you love the experience for about 30 seconds, but then the next 4.5 minutes of it takes of grinding those beans, it's pretty brutal. You got a lactic
yeah,
acid buildup, your arms are burning. The
yeah.
hack on that one though is because I have one of those for camping before we had the battery powered grinder. Um, just one of those little hand crank grinders, conical burr grinders. That's actually a great, yeah, power drill. You just put it on the end.
Grind it right up. Yes.
Yep. Sorry. This episode is
Yeah.
really, really starting off great because I might be a
Yeah.
little over
Shoot. Oh,
caffeinated
bad.
and you are under caffeinated.
You did say you didn't want to hijack it, but then you did. Okay, so back to the
That was just me being polite and politely hijacking it.
yeah, the YouTube thing.
Yes, YouTube.
So my story, I was about to get into the YouTube part but then I got sidetracked because of my brain. Um, so this this last couple of weeks, I've been doing like volume, right?
Yep.
Busting out, pushing them,
Yep.
going for it, and trying to figure out how to edit the videos myself. And you've hooked me out. We've got the things I'm trying to figure out because it takes a lot more work going into the folders and bringing assets and then knowing how to tweak them,
Yeah.
which I'm going to need some help on the transitions. I still can't figure that out yet. But the other stuff I'm doing okay with. And then I went to Adobe stock and they've got some free. The thing was, I even looked on Envato yesterday. I looked on it for like an hour looking for just the most basic. I just want the words to kind of like fade in, fade out, not come in boxes and square thingies and all kinds of colors. And I just want the writing to appear and disappear. So it's not just like bang, boom. And so anyway, they offer those for free on there. And so there's like 4 or 5 different styles. I got them. It like kind of sweeps in and then it sweeps out or it comes up and then goes down. It's just exactly what I was looking for. Super easy, super basic, just not over the top. In a Mogurt, which I'm not sure that's the correct terminology, but
that's what we're running with.
I pop it right in, drag and drop. That's my style. Having to open the thing and then I don't know. I'll get there. I'm just not there yet.
Right. It takes time.
But it's getting better. The channel's growing. I could show you, but it's me holding the phone out. Either way, I can tell you that it stated last time I looked like the growth. I'm up to 1535.
Nice.
Okay, that doesn't probably sound like crazy good, but the views are 41,000 views. This, I think it goes back last 28 days or something.
That's great, dude.
Which is 35.6K more than usual.
Yeah.
Watch time is 55 hours more than usual, up to 115. Subscribers 57% more than the previous 28 days. I'm up 44. And then estimated revenue, although it doesn't show up or down how much, I finally broke the $6 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to celebrate.
I'm up to 609.
Nice.
Okay. I know. I know. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. And then real-time views last 48 hours. I'm consistently staying at about 5,000 hours watched.
Nice. I know that so this is what's fun.
Oh, sorry. 5,000 views.
5,000 views.
I know it. Yeah.
What I love about this is that, I think it's been about a year since you were talking about, the big growth you had, kind of jumped up to 1,200 and you kind of plateaued for a long time, right?
Yeah.
But you can look back now at a year ago and be like, yeah, well, I may only have, 300 more subscribers, but now you've dialed in and found your niche, who your
Yeah.
people are, and you're getting a
Yes.
lot more watch hours. And I like a year from now, it's not
Yeah.
going to be 300 more. It's going to be that exponential growth.
Yeah, it's going to start sweeping up. What's really interesting is if you look in the last 28 days, it says plus 44 subscribers.
Okay.
Okay, that it's not equating because I'm at 1535 and I was at like 1520,
Right.
15, not 44.
Right. Right. You're
Which
losing
means
people.
that's awesome, which means I'm pairing off all
Yes.
the subscribers that I don't want,
Right.
that don't want to watch me, that are like, "Oh, he's doing this again on the I'm out."
Right. Right.
Great, that's what I need. But I got
Yes.
44 new views, new subscribers that when they saw the content I'm now making and honing in on, they're like, "This is somebody I want to follow."
Yeah.
So, it's not I mean, it's more telling, but you kind of have to dig into the analytics to really see what's happening.
Right.
Because there'll be times where I look and I'm like, dude, I got 4 people, but I'm down 3. Like it says
Right.
plus 4, but I've actually lost 3. So I'm losing at least almost as many as I'm getting,
Right. Right.
which is great
It
because
is.
then it's going to get to the point where pretty soon I stop losing because only the people that are like I'm putting out so much content now that like I'm not showing up. If you're a
Right.
subscriber, I'm not showing up on your feed.
Right.
Now I'm on your feed and you're like, I don't want to see this anymore. Great.
Right.
So, you know what I
You're
mean?
force feeding people.
So yeah, so it is interesting and I'm going freaking for it, right? I'm posting I was I was chatting with chat being like what do I need to do, whatever. It basically told me slow down on doing as many shorts as you're doing because I am putting out 3 shorts a day,
Right.
which is 21 shorts a week. It's like you don't need more than 14. Calm down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's true. Okay. So, but I was using them as discovery, thinking I'm using them as discovery, not for people who are already, viewers. They're supposed to be
Right.
watching the long form content. And then the short form content is it's not chopped up snippets, but it's basically I take the topic and then I go, okay, what's one thing I could say about that topic? And I make a specific video.
Right.
And each video now is between 20 and 40 seconds because I figure I can chop it up but then it's not the same as me doing with a hook, with a thing, with a call to action, but all of them. So I've been doing that. And it's like, calm down. You don't need to do that. Take some of the time you were doing, the extra short a day and spend it doing a post or a poll or a quiz or something else.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that makes more sense. So I was doing that. And I'm not good at ads, right? I don't know anything about them. So I did try and do a discovery ad, and I was chatting with chat, and I have an argumentative chat who is no longer a yes chat. It's a
Yes.
what the hell are you thinking chat,
Right.
and
There you go.
so
Nice. You have to convince
everything
them.
I'm typing is like "Pfft, no, and then it gives me all the reasons why not.
Yep.
Um, anyway, it told me I need to start running some discovery ads, and so I was like, explain to me why, give me the rationale, tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And it did. And then I was like, cool, what do you suggest? And it went and I have fed it every single one of my videos. I had it watch my videos. I don't know if I touched on this, but I've had it like evaluate my videos and the editing. It can now
Yeah.
watch videos, which is
Right.
awesome, but you can't just give it a YouTube URL. You actually have to download the video and then
Uploaded.
feed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been doing that to get some editing ideas so I can get better at editing myself. And what was my point about that? Oh, so anyway, I did all of those things and I've been giving it all of that and then said, now what should I be doing? And it's like, use this video because this one speaks directly to the audience you're looking
Mhm.
for at exactly the moment you want them to join your channel. Like start to discover your content and go into it.
Right.
I'm like, excellent. So let's do it. I did it. I upload. I had it walk me through step by step by step by step how to make the ads, how to do it. I did it all. It went into uh, where they have to authorize it. They look at it, make sure that it's good or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And it did that and it rejected it.
Ah,
and it said that my thumbnail was clickbaity. And so I was like, what the crap? So I take the thumbnail, I download the thumbnail, I put the thumbnail into chat, and I was like, why is it telling me it's clickbaity? And it's like, you have all caps text on the thing.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like, get rid of that. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. It's like, try these instead. And it's also, it was like, it's a trap. And it's like, you can't say, instead say, don't reply before knowing this or something. So I had to soften it and do it.
Stupid.
So I make
How are you
two.
supposed to interrupt? How are you supposed to get their attention to break their
I
what is it,
know.
alpha brain waves?
Yeah.
Like, what how you
So
supposed to do that without yeah, sorry, don't get me
I
started.
requested all that. I did it. And it's like, although this is a great thumbnail for your channel, it won't pass the muster for ads. So it's like, so try something different. I'm like, fine. So I A/B tested two different ones that I put on there.
Yep.
So it'll be A/B testing the two different thumbnails, and I then resubmitted, and so we'll see. So with any
I will
luck,
say that is one of the new features of YouTube I really like is the
oh
ability to
man,
A/B.
I am loving it. I
Yeah.
am absolutely loving it. You can ABC test if you want.
Okay.
Um, and so that's been interesting. And then I just this week figured out how to edit the thumbnail on a short.
Okay. You have to do it from the computer. No, you can't or wait. No, it's
Nope,
the
you
opposite. You have
have
to
to
do
do
it
it
from the
from your
phone.
phone,
Yeah.
and you have to do it from the mobile YouTube app on your phone, not
Right.
the mobile studio, YouTube
Right.
Studio app.
Right. It's really dumb.
It really makes no sense at
No.
all, but it is what it is. And I think I figured out if you want to add an actual thumbnail that's a not a still from the video itself, is you have to add at least one frame somewhere in that video that is the thumbnail you want,
Okay.
either at the very beginning or the very end, and then you can drag your timeline to grab that still
Okay.
frame.
Do you remember this? I mean, maybe this is just something they test. Um, so and it's different when you're in a browser, right? I think if you would just
Mhm.
hover over your mouse over a video in the browser, like it just auto plays without playing the audio, it
Right.
auto plays the video. But there was a period on because I we only watch YouTube on our Apple TV, like on our
Okay.
TV, right? It's
Okay.
typically a family thing. But unless I'm researching and I'm, watching stuff, but then it's a different experience, right? So it doesn't matter. But like there was a period where you would like, click through the thumbnails, right? And whichever
Right.
one you were on, it would autoplay. Not
Right.
autoplay the whole video, but like a portion. Like it was a
Right.
5 to 10 second clip of that. But
Uh-huh.
not every video did it. So it's obviously something they were testing. It didn't catch on because that's no longer the functionality. This would have been probably 2 years ago. Um, do you remember that like is it just me?
Yeah, it absolutely does that.
Yours
It
does that?
absolutely does that right now. My
Mine
TV,
mine
all of
does
it.
not.
I had to go into settings and turn it off.
So, are you saying in on Apple TV or just in the
And
Apple or the YouTube app on your TV?
YouTube app on my TV, YouTube app on Google Chrome, on God, what's the other? Fire Stick
Okay.
uh, on basically every single thing we watch it on. I have to go into settings and take the autoplay shit off because it drives me freaking crazy. I can't stand go to the video and I'm like, cool, I'm looking at the thumbnail, I want to read
And
about
then it
the,
goes
and then
away.
it
Yeah.
starts playing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
stop playing. And so yeah, I bet we've had to get it to stop playing.
I wonder if that's a setting on the Apple TV and I just don't know about it.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, tangent. Um,
So
so
anyway, that's where
YouTube.
I'm at. I'll let you know how it goes. I'll update everybody on the ad to see if it works because it's telling me basically um, the rationale behind running the ad is a video discovery ad only. It
Okay.
plays it only if someone clicks on it, but it comes up in their feed as if it's a video. It does say sponsored, but it's just the video thumbnail.
Okay.
And then they can go, oh, yes. And if they click it, it costs me. If they don't click it, it doesn't cost me.
Interesting.
And I have it set right now where it's not a maximum.
Mhm.
You just give it a medium or an average. And so it could be under, could be over. I just clicked it, started at 1 cent, and it was like, that's too low, to 2 cents. That's too low. 3 cents. That's too low, to 4
Right.
cents. And it was like, yeah, that's a good number.
Nice.
So up to 4 cents. And it did say in the rationale on chat when I was chatting it up, it's like, basically for what your stuff is, your channel, your everything, if people were to move through it and you had a 1% people join the membership and then 1% of those join the thing and then 1% of those take the course, if we did that and exponentially grew your channel up to 5 figures, so 5,000 or 10,000 plus
10,000, yeah.
subscribers, it was like it will more than pay for itself. You need it to be between 8 and 10 cents per watch for it to
Nice.
make sense for you to do this. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, and if I can do it at 4, like, dang. So
Right.
I can up it later, but it should put it in front of enough people. Basically, what I'm trying to do is direct the algorithm instead of trying to figure out who basically my ideal avatar, my person, I call him Evan,
Right.
and trying to direct that to Evan. Seems like it's doing a much better job, but by saying, look, let me help you.
Right.
These are the
Right.
people, then it goes so much faster because I've kind of screwed it up making all those other vlog videos and all the
Yeah, you
other
tried a lot of
stuff.
things. But at
Yeah,
the end
I've
of the
done
day,
it
it's a long game. It's a that's what I think
yeah.
that's what people need to hear, right? Like it's not going to work in 2 months.
No,
Like
no.
anything, whether it's Google Ads or social media, like any campaign, you really have to give it 3 months to
Yeah.
break even,
Yeah,
you know,
this
and
is
then
telling
6
me
months to be profitable.
it's telling me 30 to 45 days before you look at it.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
just run it and forget it for 30 to 45 days until you have at least enough information to start guessing. It's
Right.
like 3 months should be a decent, but in 30 to 45 days, we can make some tweaks, being like,
Yeah.
hey, it appears it's twice the people are twice as likely in this demographic to watch your video. Okay, well, then
Right.
let's lean into that and say, well, just send it to those people then. And
Yeah.
then just. And so then we can narrow it down. So then once it knows who exactly to send it to, where it's like, boom, you're getting a 30%, because it says basically within 6 months, you want to be at a 20% plus. And if
Okay.
not, you're not tweaking it properly.
Right.
Like you're
Right.
not paying attention or you're doing something is wrong.
Yeah, that first 30, 45 days though can be you really shouldn't look at it. Like
That's what it says.
that's why you
Don't
have
look at
someone
it.
else do it
Don't
for you.
adjust. Don't nothing.
Yeah, because I think I've told you the story about, someone that was a client and their ad spend was about $30,000 a month. And um they were looking at it and they made it 10 days. And then they went in and they manually turned it off. And we like at that point when you're spending that kind of money, you actually have
Yeah.
someone at Google. You have an agent that is your agent. They're your customer service representative.
Right.
And it was just really like I kept telling them like you can't don't look at it. It's going
Right.
to take you're gonna lose every penny the first month. Like it's just a numbers game. You have to be willing to commit to 3 months of whatever your budget is. It doesn't matter what it is, but you have to go in thinking, I'm not going to lose this. I'm not going to keep this money. If I do, great, right? But especially that first month and a half, it is painful. So you have to be in it for the long
Right.
game, But yes, it takes a strong
Yeah.
stomach.
And it's really interesting because it's straight set. Like I have that, like, break it down to me. Why? Tell me why. And it's like, because um I was like, who knows this information? And tell me, give me examples. And it was like Pepsi. Why is Pepsi advertised Pepsi? And I was like, hell if I know. And it's like, so that the Pepsi logo is in your line of sight.
Right.
So that you're not buying Pepsi when you look at the ad. You just are reminded that Pepsi exists.
Right.
So the first 5 times someone sees your video that you paid to put in front of them, they see it or they don't see it. And they may not see it until the fifth or sixth time when they go, why does that look familiar?
Right.
And then they maybe click on it. But they
Yep.
have to be, it has to be in front of them enough times for them to go, oh. So you may run it for 30 days and get 6 people click on it.
And it may take 5, 7, 10 times for them to notice it.
And then
And then
another
even
5 or 10 times for them to want to push it.
I was gonna say, and then they might even once they notice
They
it,
may
may not
not
be
even
interested.
want to push it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like what it's doing is it's going out, and you'll see this whenever you turn on like an ad, a Google Ads campaign, right?
Mhm.
After like a few hours, let's say the first 36 hours, you'll get a boost, and it'll like shoot up. You're getting all these impressions, and then it just drops, and it's basically going. It sends it out to everyone, and then it sees who's interacting with it, and then it starts narrowing its focus. So it's not that it
Yeah.
stops working, it's that it's the shotgun approach, and then it's going,
Uh-huh.
okay, who's interested? And then it's finding those demographics and looking for more people like that. But
Right. It's
that's most.
figuring out, oh, these now what all these that did look at it have in common. It
Mhm.
now let's send to those, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I go back to
It
something you
it's
said
gonna
a couple
take a
episodes ago.
long time
Are
for
these
it to
dill pickles?
happen.
Do these people like dill pickles or do they not? Do these
Yes.
people, like sweet pickles? Do they not? It's going through
Right.
and finding like
Do
one
they
thing
like
at a time.
vinegar? Do they not? Do they
Yeah,
like canned things or do they not? Do they like it in a jar? Do they not? Do they want
right,
yes, you gotta go through all this stuff to till you finally so it's gonna take a while. And I recognize that. I know that I have money that I'm spending.
yes.
And I don't say that tongue in cheek anymore because I used to feel like I was investing it. I now feel like I am spending it.
Interesting. Okay.
And so because I feel like I am spending it, I'm thinking I'm not getting anything back for the spend. I'm just getting more irritated. Now, what's crazy is I have to wait long enough to get irritated enough to make the move
Yeah,
because it's going to be an uncomfortable situation. You know, I don't like change. And
right.
so it's been easy for me to justify it's long. Yeah, I just have to wait it out. I just have to. But at some point, you're like, how many buckets of money, or shot glasses of money? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
How many shot glasses of money am I going to dump into there before I say enough is enough?
right.
And am I making the right choice by stopping? Because am I cutting it off too fast before it has a chance, or have I done it long enough to now know?
That's where I think you have to define those things before you start. You have to say, okay, what's my commitment level? Like
I
this is
did,
one
and
of
I
the
said 1 year,
yeah.
and then I
There you
realized
go.
I messed up that year, and so I was like, I'll commit to another year, and
Yeah, you have
I
to say
think I'm
doing going and you have to don't get me wrong, you do have to iterate, right? But
uh,
your iterations were kind of like not small iterations. They were
no, they
very
weren't
much
iterations, they were reconstructions. Like
yes,
it was a
yes,
full tear down and rebuild. And so I understand that. And now I'm like, I said I would give it another year, but I don't know that the additional 4 months is going to matter because the only things that appear to be working are things that I'm myself doing.
mm,
And now I don't want to be the person who's like, I can do all this myself. I
right,
don't want to fool
right,
myself,
right.
but at the same time, I don't know. So
Well, look, man,
I see
no
again, I'm
one's gonna
not
care
ready to
more than you
fully make
care.
a decision yet, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm
I
not
think
getting what I believe I'm paying for.
yeah, so I think this makes me think of something. One, like no one's ever gonna care about it as much as you do, right?
Right.
But I also think you may not have just found the right team members. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Not that
um,
they're not great people.
no, it's not
It's
that at all.
just,
But
and I'm not shit talking. I mean,
right,
I've
right,
seen the success from The Office. I've seen the
yes.
success, and now maybe it is me.
No, so I think that's okay. Here's how I wrap my head around this. I'm actually in this process of kind of, well, you've seen it, blowing things up and rebuilding from. like one cog at a time. I'm trying to rebuild a whole system, a whole machine, one cog at a
Mhm.
time. And I'm trying to do it very intentionally. Whereas the existing businesses have been more of, I don't want to say a reaction, but we've looked around at the market and positioned
Okay.
ourselves in a try to position ourselves differently than the market, right? So
Sure.
if this is the value right here, of what a competitor is giving, we want to give a higher value than that.
Right.
My way of the reason I'm kind of blowing everything up and I'm trying to rebuild a cog at a time. I'm really
Right.
looking at each thing going, how can we as a service, as a business, as a person, whatever, give value? How can we become, instead of an expense, an investment, right? So the goal would be
Right.
any money invested into our platform gives a 5 to 10x return. So
Right.
it, that bare minimum is like, okay, well, if someone's spending, let's say $1,000 on ads, then you're
Right.
looking at a $5,000 to $10,000 return. Yeah, I mean, and that's not unreasonable, but it's certainly not going to happen in
In the
1, 2, or
beginning.
3 months. That's going to
Right.
take 6 months to a year to really, really fine tune, and it may never be a 10x, but 5x is a lot better than 1.5x, right? Um,
Yeah.
and you want return. So, but it's not just in ads, right? It's also
Right.
and that's why I'm trying to build the system. Like we're rebuilding a marketing agency one cog at a time. And why is it one cog at a time? It's because each cog needs to function independently and become scalable on its own.
Right.
Like it needs to float on its own. And
Right.
then we have all these things. And then as we crank up, it will work together well, but it can function on its own. It doesn't need that was actually one of the biggest. I had to put this in writing. Oh my gosh, I had to put this in writing yesterday, doing some self-assessments, right?
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
the marketing agency was very successful very quickly. I would say too quickly for me to handle.
Okay.
Um, I was not an experienced leader. I was very much a technician, very good at my
Okay.
craft, but all of a sudden I was thrust into having people, subordinates, and people that were kind of green, good,
Okay.
really good at what they did, but a little
Right.
green. And I wore a lot of hats. And so at the end of the day, what really happened is that I burned
Mhm.
out. I was the
Right.
bottleneck for everything. And when we met, I was still in that recovery phase from burnout, you know. And
Right.
so in building it now, I'm trying to rebuild it in a way where it's not this overhead hungry, time consuming, inefficient thing. That's the goal anyway. But anyway, my whole
Okay.
point of giving value is like we want people to look at us not like a line item on their expense sheet, right? We want to them to look at us like we are an investment. They know that the $200 they give us a month for their website brings them leads that are worth way more than $200. For example, let's say like a landing page. Like I'm just pulling a number out of my hat, right? Like
Okay.
$1,000 to create a quiz funnel and a landing page and all the things that we would need for this campaign to generate leads. That might sound expensive, but then let's break it down. It's performing at 10 times better than a normal landing page, a normal conversion rate, which would be, 2.5 to 3%. We're looking at in the 30s. So it's already worth 10x more.
Right.
It's not a one-time thing. It becomes, a lead generator for a long time. So how many leads do you need to generate through this thing, right? Through this landing page, this quiz funnel, whatever.
Right.
And then what's your cost per acquisition? And then what's your customer's lifetime value? Like, so how many customers do you need to get to repay that $1,000? And so I think it's
Sure.
don't get me wrong, it is investment. An investment means money comes out of your pocket and doesn't get replenished immediately. But over time, it gets replenished and scale, 10, 5, 10x. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Boop. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know how we got here. I got distracted because my
Okay.
my watch rang. But yes, so I just think like you've got great people working with you, but it's you're in that phase where you just have to you almost need more buy-in from the people you're working with.
Right.
They need to understand your vision, you know, and
Mhm.
that is tough. That is very tough. I think the only way to handle it is you have to just continually spit your vision at them, you know,
Yeah.
constantly saying, "Here's where we're going. Here's what we're doing," and even if they're not listening, they hear a little bit.
Yes.
So then, um, do you have any other updates on YouTube, or is that a good stopping place? I have something I'd like to share.
No, that's it.
I'll get off my soapbox and I'll just kind of share my what I've been up to this week.
Okay.
Um, so I a few weeks ago I showed you the Looky social logo.
Yes.
So we now have a landing page design. So this is just our first draft of it, first
Okay.
draft. Um, so we haven't built it yet, but we have some revisions.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into what all the revisions are, but if you're interested, whether or not you're interested, let's take a look at it. How about that?
Yes.
Here we go. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So um, this is the hero section, and our messaging, basically our headline is, can't keep up with social media? Looky Social gets eyes on your business. The lead is, we create scroll stopping posts so you can focus on running your business. And so we've stuck with, this um, I don't want to say, somewhere between cartoon,
Yes.
street look. We really like it, but I absolutely, I just love this section. I love the gradient use. I love, there's a little bit of just
Yep.
superimposed Looky behind this phone, and this guy, this character that's looking at his
Uh-huh.
phone.
Right.
Um, I love the bottom of the hero section, how it's actually swooping. Um, if you look, it's actually the bottom of the logo between the L and the Y. I don't know. It's really cool stuff. And then we go into, delegate your socials to our Looky crew, eye-catching posts, zero hassle, your vibe amplified. Um,
Okay.
this is all love these little sketches in the background. It's little design elements that really, I think, make a page come together. Um, we're not crazy about this section, how Looky makes your socials shine. This is
Yeah.
kind of like our how-to section.
Okay.
Um, we're reworking that, so I'm just gonna kinda skip past it. Um, but then our pricing and packages, we actually really like the idea of highlighting one. So what we have 3 packages. It's like starter, business, and growth, and business is in the middle, and that's what we're gonna highlight, that as our most popular. Um,
Okay.
and, kinda shows what you get with each package. And then a testimonial. This is not a real testimonial, but we have one. It's very similar. Um,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
instead
he
of
doesn't
focusing,
look 52,
no, he doesn't. It's a very good looking 52, man. I got to say,
and
not a gray hair at all.
he doesn't look like a plumber. Yeah.
Did you know that plumbers are decreasing? Sidebar. Uh, the number of plumbers are decreasing by 25% every year.
Yeah.
That is a trade to get into, but it's a
Yeah.
crappy job. I want nothing. You could do really well, but I don't want to mess
Dude,
with people's toilets.
across the, across the gamut, for everyone who's in a construction trade,
Yeah.
for every 100 people that are retiring, quitting, moving on, switching gears, whatever, they're being replaced by 7 people.
Wow. That's crazy.
Have been for the last, 8 or 6 or 7 years, and it's not likely to change in the next, 10,
Yeah.
which is why, uh, everyone is getting a premium
Yeah. Yeah. Because
for.
it's supply and demand.
Yeah,
Um,
because the need for it's going up, 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 and
right.
the amount of qualified people is going down, 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 so
Yeah,
crazy.
Christian's, he's a junior, and so he's in that phase of like, planning what's next. And
Yeah.
the problem is he has a 4.2 GPA. He's currently involved in like the student council.
Okay.
He's running for president next year. He's secretary now. He's running for president next year. He has like this really good, you know, um, transcript,
Yes.
and it's like, what do you do? Do you want? He doesn't want to go to college, for the record, but
Okay.
it's you have to go to college or you have to do something, if you want to live there.
Yes. You gotta go.
Uh,
You have to get some kind of training, whether it's
yes,
college, trade school, technical,
right,
internship, but you gotta do something with college.
exactly. And so actually, like we're looking at the trades, right? Like AC repair, HVAC has like
Yeah.
a lot. Like the growth potential for that right now is crazy, and the rates they get, and like,
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a part of me, like, roast of the week, the whole experiment is to get him to like understand business. That like
Right.
there's wins, there's losses, like
Right.
it's a hard work, all of it. Just getting wrap his head around it so he can see if he wants to go into business for himself or work for someone else. And there's not a right answer, like, or there's no wrong
Right.
answer, I should say.
No, no, no. I understand.
But at the same time, like there's a part of me that's like, dude, you should totally get into some trade and
Mhm.
then build that trade into a business, not just be a technician, but build it into a
Right.
business.
Right.
But I'm trying to keep my
Work
mouth
for
shut.
work for someone for a few years, get the knowledge,
Exactly. Get the
the
experience.
connections,
Yep.
everything. Yeah, and then figure out if you like it
Yeah.
or what aspect of it you like, and then off you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so kind of going back to the Looky
Okay.
landing page at the bottom, our designer added like the little arms and stuff. And that's kind of like the first evolution of what, we're with the eyes in the Looky logo. We already have a character in mind. Um,
Right.
but that's kind of like the first, you know, evolution of that. So anyway, we really like it. We definitely have changes. But it's being nitpicky, you know.
Yeah.
So that's and you'll notice like most of the content is done. There's, like the testimonials not in there.
Right.
There's a couple places where there's like some lorem ipsum text.
Yep.
Um, but we don't start with a design. We start with identity. So that was what we were working on the week before last. Like, who are we? Why should people
Yep.
choose us? What's our unique selling proposition? How are we different in a meaningful way? And so we wrote out all the content first, really
Okay.
felt like it fit our identity. Then we handed that over to a designer with some pretty specific, like, here's what we want this section to look like. Here's the goal of this section.
Right.
Um, and anyway, so I feel pretty good about it. Again, we definitely have revisions. The biggest thing is just that one section that you know, we didn't really like. Um, but anyway, this is one of those things. I'm still super stoked about um that because it's such a need. Like we were talking with, and I don't know if we already talked about this, and stop me if we did, but I was talking with a friend that owns a business and they pay um a few employees like an extra $50 a week to post on social. So that's
No, you
$150 a
haven't
week.
mentioned that, but
Okay.
yeah, I gotcha.
So they have,
Yeah.
like 3 people just to do a little extra posting, right? And those
Yep.
people are the team. They're the team. And so you're looking at $600 a month right there, but there's no strategy. Now, if there was a strategy, that would be different. Maybe there would be value in there and everything. But it sounds great because it's like you already have these people in your place. They should understand the business and all the things, but without strategy, cohesion, it's just fragmented. And
Right.
in talking to this person about Looky, they were like, "Oh my gosh, well, we're already spending that, and we don't feel like we're like
Getting
doing anything.
anything
We're not
for it.
getting anywhere, right?" And
Right.
then they saw like the kind of content that we're testing, out there promoting niche,
Right.
and they're like, "Wait a minute, oh, this kind of stuff." And so it I don't know, it makes me excited. But you know me, like new is fun. New is always fun. And
Right.
especially if we're like filling a need, you know, um, I don't know. It's exciting. And I'm happy to be able to like share this stuff on the podcast. Like just like you're going through this progression of building, your YouTube presence, right? This is the
Yep.
same kind of thing. And one of these days, maybe with one of the other pieces, we might get down and dirty, but we
Right.
do kind of do that with the after hours stuff, right? We go down and dirty
Yeah.
with here's exactly what we're doing. Here's, the tools we're using. Here's how to use them. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. We'll see. But speaking of, we are getting close to wrapping things up. Um,
Yes.
what uh with with all the changes, with all the extra volume and all the things, are you still committed to like that kind of volume over the next, several months, or are you gonna start scaling it back? Are you done with the volume? Where are you at with all that?
Um, no, I'm gonna keep going. The only thing I've got to do is once I take over, assuming that's likely to happen, is I've got to be able to do it in a manner where I kind of have a template
Yeah.
or at least a book of directions where it's like, okay, I know I need these different things each few minutes and blah, 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 and then be able to just drag and drop or go to and do it quickly
It's a
because
playbook.
I'm going
That's
to
what you're
have
looking
to
for.
do my intention is to put out 2 long form videos a week, 2 short form videos per day that are reflective of the same videos that are out.
Right.
So the goal is that I will put out for 2 days. I'll ask questions and bring up stuff being like, guess what's coming. Then the video comes out and then there's a couple more posts
Mhm.
that kind of target back to that. So it's like 3 days, then the day of the video, and then 3 days after the video. But for each video, there's going to be, five, 4, 5. Because I'm going to be doing 2 videos a week, I need to do that. And then the 2 videos is like 1-to-1, 1-to-1. So I've got to kind of map and draw it out and then post and do it because my goal is to kind of start creating some momentum for the long form video, then
Right.
submit the long form video, then ride the wave of the long form video referring back to the video that's already out. And
Right.
then starting the next preload, launch, backload, and do that. And then shift it to where one comes out because my 2 busiest days are Saturday and like Thursday.
Okay.
So I'll have one video come out Thursday, one video come out Saturday, and then preload for Thursday, then post load for Thursday, and then preload for Saturday and post load for Saturday. And then it's kind of doing the same thing, but mapped over itself.
Yeah.
If I can get that system set and done, then I can do it, pre-schedule everything out, be a week or 2 ahead, and be okay. I don't want to be
Now
too far ahead because I know what my filming schedule is like and my stuff, so I need to be a little bit ahead. But I don't want to be so far ahead that I have to go, well, now I'm 4 months ahead and I've got this really
right.
great thing that's topical that could come out and do it and then not be able to do it. So
Yeah.
my goal each month is to have my my topical series videos that go. And what I really like to do is, let's say my Saturday series is my Saturday series. So I have
Right.
a schedule of 14 video or 18 or 20 video, whatever it is, on that specific topic. It comes out every Saturday at noon or whatever the time is. And then on the Thursdays is a different series, but 3 weeks out of the month it's on point, or let's say 4 weeks, 4 Thursdays it's on point, and then there's 3 or 4 additional Thursdays because of the way the weeks fall with 5 one month
Right.
before the next and back and forth. So every 3 months there's like a boost of an extra day. On that extra day, just do something that's trending.
Okay. Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
makes
mean,
sense.
you have to have a plan, but you also have to be flexible, right? So you
Yeah.
have to, I don't want to say follow trends, right? But you know, take advantage of things that you can take advantage of. Pivot
Yeah.
when you can, right? Don't have a year's worth of content in the bag,
Pre-done. It doesn't make any sense. So that's the goal. And then maybe it changes. And the reason I say maybe it changes is because maybe the Thursday videos that come out are just releases of the live content that I do for my members 2 or 3 weeks late.
Okay. I mean, I definitely like that because then you're
then I've got the Q&As, I've got the stuff, I'm doing it. If you're a member, you get it much earlier, you get involved in it, you're on there, you get to ask your own questions. And then if you're not, then at least it's out there to where people can see it and go, man, that's what they're talking about. Like right now they're doing that. And this, I'm getting this a month late. Like, why don't I want to get in there and get the fresh, like get it.
Yeah.
And so I've got questions I want to ask. I want to get in there and do those things versus just asking in the comments or whatever. And then when I go, okay, nobody else has anything, great. I've got some comments here I want to be sure to answer. Like, obviously members get first attention. And then after that, we'll fill it in,
Yeah.
I think there has to come a justification for paying the $2 or the $10 or $5 or however much they're paying. So it's got to justify that cost. And so I think you get something for it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. And I know I'm going to need to adjust. I can't do the live videos on the feed for the third right now. So I got to make those. But my thought was that the Thursday videos will be much more raw. Even the ones that I produce and do and edit, there'll be less editing. So they won't be near as a bit viral worthy. They're more like committed watchers. It's deeper content. It's going to be less searchable content and more, no, this is what I need to be seeing kind of content.
Yeah. Information, not necessarily entertainment.
Yes. Because the Saturday stuff will be for the new people that are coming in. And that's like kind of enticement. Whereas the Thursday content is going to be nourishment for the people that are already there.
Yeah.
And already a part of the thing. So that's my goal. That's the plan so far. Now that's probably going to adjust, but my hope is that it simply adjusts and iterates slightly and becomes more and more workable, more and more valuable to the people that are watching it.
Yeah.
Versus me trying to be like, no, this is what you need to do. I'm trying to make it much more. Here's my belief. Here's where I think you need to go. You tell me where it is you're actually trying to go, and then I can help you get there.
Yeah.
But I know like the arena. Now, what line you want to stand on, the 50-yard line, the goal line, where you want to be. But I know where the arena is. I can help you get into the arena. Then it's up to you to figure out how fast you want to run the field and where you want to be.
Right.
So,
well, it's kind of like we were talking about before the podcast, coaching versus consulting. Right?
Yeah.
In that situation, you're very much it's coaching. It's you're showing them the fundamentals, teaching them fundamentals, and then it's up to them to utilize them. Where consulting is more, what'd you say, it was like a general, right?
Yeah, being a general, being like, no, stand on this line, stand right there. You have to do it.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not looking to be a general or a dictator. I'm not looking to force them like, no, I'm the band leader. You stand on your spot and you play the instrument the way I tell you to play it. It's, hey, you know how to play the instrument. Now make it make music.
Right.
And so anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. So we'll see. That may have to iterate. I may have to come back and ask for some more direction. And it's going to be, I can tell it's going to be a little bit more taxing on me because I have to be the one to make the decisions rather than just deferring to someone who I'm not sure knows more than me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure they know less. I'm not stating that, but I just don't know that they know more. But it's been a little bit like relaxing to be like, well, that's on them.
Right.
But now I'm like, I'm not getting any further than it would be if I was just doing it myself. And it's at this point costing me more money than it would otherwise. And I think that the money is better spent somewhere else since I don't have an abundance of it.
Right.
So it's like, I'm
Well,
gonna
I
have
mean,
to
the
make
one
some
thing,
changes. I'm just gonna have to make
yeah,
some adjustments, and then yeah, I may have to adjust again. I don't know. This
the,
isn't the final iteration, but it's the
yes,
next
and
one.
if nothing else, you will have, uh, you'll be in control of your own future, you know,
Yeah.
and ride or not, like float or sink, like it's in your hands, right? And there's
Right.
that personal responsibility that you will have instead of it kind of feeling like, well, I gave it to them and then it's up to them to do the thing and you know,
Right.
which I think for
Yeah.
you works. The danger is that, yeah, you don't need to be the guy that does all the things. I know
Right.
that's, I know it's your nature to do. You're a doer. I'm a doer.
Yeah.
Um, if we have like, if it's like the seven deadly sins, I don't know if like doing is one of them, but like your thing is
Right.
the you know different directions, right? And not necessarily giving something the amount of time it needs to
Right.
take off. And my
Yes.
thing is trying to do too many things all at one time. Um,
Yeah.
like trying to pour, like if my energy, if what I have to give today is a hose and I have buckets that I'm trying to like fill up, like it's
Right.
wasteful for me to go from, let's say I have 5 buckets, to just kind of like pour across the buckets and hope that they all kind of rise. What I've learned is that I have to kind of focus on a bucket per day. So like
Right.
today is podcast day. Like it's actually my favorite day of the week. Like I get to put all of my time and my energy into doing this, into doing after hours, into
Right.
trying to grow this thing, right?
Right.
And then like Mondays is niche day. Mondays are like the days that I focus. And if I try to do across 5 different things in one day, that shift in focus is difficult for me because everything is just a little bit different. But I will
Yeah.
say the one thing, because it sounds like I'm just trying to do everything and be a generalist, and that's not really the case. I'm trying to grow like or complementary businesses
Right.
in the same way at the same time. So like doing quiz
Right.
funnels, right? We're getting ready to hop into after hours and
Oh,
finish up your
yes.
quiz funnel, right?
I am
We're doing quiz funnels
stoked.
across all of the businesses. Like that's what we're working on right now. When we go into,
Right.
whatever the next thing is, we're doing that across all the businesses. So it's trying to
Right.
focus on the marketing or the admin or whatever it is that, at that time across all the things. Learn it
Right.
once, apply it 5 times, that kind of
Sure.
thing. Anyway, yes, you seem like you have something to say before we hop into after hours.
Yeah, I need to pee.
Oh, well, great.
So I'm sitting here
Well,
doing
in
the
that
pee dance
case,
in the chair, and I'm like, we gotta hurry.
yeah,
Or
yeah. In
I'm
that
gonna
case,
make a mess. Yeah. All right. So anyway, thanks
yeah.
for
Well, I was
the
going to say,
podcast. I
in
feel
that
like
case,
this was
mind
a
your
decent one.
business. But I don't know.
I'm
What's
speeding
your
up. My
aim?
brain is getting there. And then and now I'll just touch on one more thing before we bounce, just
Yeah.
because all of these listeners are wanting to know. So remember before when I told you that I made the Udemy course, right?
Yes. Yes.
I did it. I launched it. I put it out. Crickets. But that's kind of expected because I put it out and I charged. And I think what you're supposed to do is you put it out for free long enough for it to get some reviews and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not that guy. So what I did is I left it up, put it for the money. Then I went in and created a coupon for free.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I took that coupon and then I went back in, and anybody that had taken my course, whether they took it for free or whether they paid, anybody that did any amount of my course over 20% got sent a free coupon. Hey, I noticed you did this.
Are you saying that you direct marketed to
I
a
did.
defined list?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You
I
mean
know.
that works?
I don't know. I had
Well,
91 pages of people and I had to do each one individually.
Oh.
But hey, I noticed that and I did copy and paste the link, and then hey, I noticed that you subscribed to or enrolled in a previous relationship course, and so as a thank you, here you go. I'm going to give you a coupon. If as long as you log in within the next 30 days, the coupon is good.
Nice.
For enrollment, it doesn't mean you have to take it now, but here you go. So hopefully I'll get at least a couple people. anybody and everyone else, I posted that same coupon on Facebook.
Okay.
In my Aaron Gerald's page, and then on my personal page, and then I blasted it out. So
what's the course?
It's supposed to be 100% free. You get the free course. You just have to create a free, account or whatever, and then you get to take the whole course. This one is really good.
What is it?
This one it's on the communication.
Okay.
And it's relationship skills, like deepening your communication, learning, improving your communication in a relationship.
Can we put that in the like the show notes? Can we put that in the like Facebook group? I mean, like how?
Yeah. Let's put it. Oh, let's do that. Let's do it for the listeners. So if you jump on the Minding Your Business podcast Facebook group, grab it. It's free right now. So at least for the coupon only lasts for 30 days, but it's unlimited number.
Okay.
So
cool. Yeah. And if you can't find us on Facebook, you can go to mybpodcast.com, and it has links to our Facebook group and all the other things. So, and we'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah.
In all the ways
and
if you want.
And don't worry, if you're listening to this 3 or 4 months from now, just jump on my page and ask me. By then I'm planning to do probably one additional relationship skill each month, or possibly each 6 weeks. I do have a list of, it's basically a series of 12 videos that I was hoping to get done in a year, but who's got that kind of time? So it may be one of those things where I get it all done. It took me a lot longer to upload and everything in the system than I thought it was going to. Yeah. So I thought I was going to be able to knock one out every 2 weeks. I think it's going to be much more like every 4, just because of the time commitment. It took almost 8 hours after it was completed to get it uploaded and built in their system, which is why I am so looking forward to having Remind done. So I was going to say,
man, it's almost like you need a different system,
man. Yeah.
So that's, there's more to come about all that.
Yeah. Yes. So eventually all of those things will be in Remind anyway, and people can get them for cheap. But in the meantime, check it out. We'll post it. We'll put a link. I'll send it over to you so we can put it, or I'll post it in there myself. I don't know. I'll figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Send it my way.
That's all I've got.
Well, until next week. And I was gonna say mind your business, but maybe just like watch your aim. I don't know. I know you need to.
Oh my God! Hurry up. Okay.
Mind your business as long as possible. I want to see your eyes turn yellow.
I'm about to shut the camera off and run.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening, and mind your business. Hey, thanks for listening to the Minding Your Business podcast. Your hosts are Aaron Geralds and me, CJ Jolliffe. If you want to find out more about us, or when we're going live, or follow us on socials, just go to our website, mybpodcast.com. And again, thank you so much for listening.